I do apologize. Am I disturbing you?
No, please. Do come in, Mrs.
My name is Miss Alice de Bouvier. I'm Mr. Holmes' new neighbor.
Oh, I didn't have the pleasure to... I am Dr. John Watson. Could we provide you with any assistance?
Oh, she is not the concern, Watson.
I'm... Then, what is this about?
Oh, that child standing sniffling behind her. Get rid of him, Watson.
But he is shivering with cold. And he is upset. What happened to him?
Little Tom knocked at the wrong door.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Oh, boy, come in. Warm yourself by the fire. Can I offer you a cup of tea, Miss de Bouvier?
Well,
It is not as though we are disturbing you-know-who. Are we?
I suppose not.
Since you are our new neighbor, it is perhaps better that you know what he's like.
You're starting to worry me.
Well, Mr. Holmes is relapsing. This illness that he has seizes him when he finds himself with nothing to do. He becomes completely asocial. And alas, this is a very difficult, medically incurable case. Now, this must stay between us.
Of course, I understand. How very sad.
But there is a cure, if only a temporary one. A thrilling inquiry. Most certainly. If he refuses this one, then his condition will worsen.
Oh, I am still here, you know. I didn't fall out of the window. Very well, then.
Thank you, miss.
Now tell me, boy, what brings you here?
It's my father, sir. He's missing. I don't know what to do.
What's his name?
George Hurst, sir.
Missing, eh? And what do the police say?
The police, they don't believe me. They say he's just abandoned me. But that's a lie.
Obviously. Your clothes are well mended and you can read. Your parents may be poor, but you are loved.
Yeah, well, it's just the two of us now. My mother died when I was a little one.
And that's just one more reason for not leaving you. Your father doesn't seem the irresponsible type. He's very good to you.
Well, that's right. But he has no fixed work, so he often takes odd jobs for the day. 'Cause that's all he can find. Only this time, he didn't come home.
And when was the last time you saw him?
3 weeks ago. He left for a new job. But this time, he was acting a bit strange and angry.
Strange? In what way?
He said to me, "Son, I'm out on a special job. Don't you dare move from here." I think something went wrong.
3 weeks? That's a long time.
Well, every day I thought he would show up. And anyway, I can look after myself.
What were you thinking? You and your father are both at risk. You should have come to me much earlier.
I was afraid. I ain't got no family, and I've got no other place to go. If our landlord finds out that father left me, he'll throw me out on the street.
Tom, you've been very resourceful. We shall be discreet.
If only my mother was still here.
Very well. Your address, please, Tom.
12 Dorset Street, the first floor, door E. It's in Whitechapel, sir. But I ain't got no money to pay.
Who asked for money, Tom? Your case seems to be the very medicine I need. I'll meet you there shortly.
Oh, thank you, sir.
We need to help Tom find his father, Holmes.
My analysis table. It's useful for my work. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. Brave Toby, the best nose in the British Empire. A map of London and its surroundings. Could be useful. A map of London and its surroundings. Could be useful.
Watson documents our adventures in here. Watson documents our adventures in here. These streets are too narrow for the cab. I'll have to walk. Whitechapel High Street. North Street. Dorset Street.
"'Tis our home, Mr. Holmes." My mother, sir. She died when I was very young. My father told me what she was like, but that's all I have.
I'm sorry, Tom. My mother left me when I was very young too. Hurst covered his bills ahead of time, thus providing Tom with security and sustenance. Well, I can see the preparations for peasant soup, a clever concoction for somebody with apparently no culinary skills. Food's running low. It's already 3 weeks since George Hurst's disappearance. A collection of worn-out and second-hand books. George Hurst was providing his son with the best education that he could afford.
Father bought all those books for me. He didn't tell me, but I know that he pawned his coat for them.
So that's why you came to see me. Tom probably reads at night. A collection of worn-out and second-hand books. George Hurst was providing his son with the best education that he could afford.
Father bought all those books for me. He didn't tell me, but I know that he pawned his coat for them. The roof leaks all the time. Father used to fix it.
George Hurst's work was varied. He was evidently a hard-working and valuable hand. Old clothes, soiled and worn. Old clothes, soiled and worn. Old clothes, soiled and worn. The old Tabard pub, North Street. Glue. Probably taken from a wall. It's too dark. I can't see anything.
Please, sir, find my father.
A leather satchel, what's in it? Just some old things.
Good day, Mr. Holmes.
Well, if it isn't young Wiggins. And I see you found yourself a job.
If you can call it that. I hate it. But if you've got any proper work for me...
I just might be in need of your assistance later. Wait here.
I need to earwig to find out who is offering this special job.
Arm in arm, stronger together, stronger than ever.
The child labour law sent your kids to school instead of the coal mine.
No. That fellow who's offering the special jobs, he never drinks alcohol.
There's no one to eavesdrop on from here.
Equality for the working class.
I'm glad I'm my own boss. I can complain only to myself. Or to Watson.
The man who's offering that special job has a proper set of mutton chop whiskers.
So, the man I'm looking for has whiskers and never drinks alcohol. It's not him.
Bosses beware. When we're screwed, we multiply.
This must be the man that I'm looking for. Interesting. A missing person. I should find out more.
You see that gentleman? I need you to follow him and report back to me.
All right, Mr. Holmes.
My chapel never changes. Dirt and beggars everywhere.
I don't know, go with this bag everybody. I don't take it part of me. Yeah! Yeah, whatever. I eat. Well, first of all.
I couldn't pay my rent last week.
Pumpkin! Cabbage! Cheap!
They won't let me pass. I'll need to find another way.
Rich folk feed meat to their dogs.
Living costs are too much these days. My son has to work down the sewers. He's only 7.
Stupid kid.
Ah, boys from the Bruisers gang. Better keep out of their way.
What are you waiting for?
I'll be able to continue the chase if I climb up the chimney, but it's dangerous.
Take a brush and get in there.
Please, you don't have to beat him. I'll do it. I'll clean the chimney.
Go on.
He's still here, that's a relief.
What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor early in the morning?
No place to hide here. We'd better go through the yard.
Oi! What are you doing in my garden?
His shoe shine Jim from Chambers Street. He's mute because his drunk stepfather beat him. should remove the dirt first.
Hurry up. Did you fall asleep? What are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm still learning.
Get away from me, boy!
He's talking with a cabin. I need to get closer. Damn! I need to find another one.
At last, the weather's good. Last week was freezing.
I'm praying it doesn't get cold again. I've no money for cold.
I can't lose him now. Ah, I've lost him. I can't lose him now. Interesting. What's going on in the yard? Locked. Locked. Interesting. What's going on in the yard? I need to get into the yard. I can't see what's inside. I can't see what's inside. can't see what's inside. Ah, a coat of arms. It might help Mr. Holmes. I'll make a drawing of it. Wow, a lot of expensive stuff. It's too dangerous to enter. Do only 2 people live here? I wish one was me. Bags of food. I like this house. Time to report to Mr. Holmes. Let's get outside before I get caught.
Wigan's tale was quite unusual. What do you make of what he found, Holmes?
Wiggins did a good job. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. That's not the one I need. Here it is. So this man could be Lord Marsh. Huh. A lord who hangs around in a public house. Let's pay a visit to Lord Marsh. We'll pretend that we're interested in his charitable activities.
Mr. Holmes, you have a visitor.
Oh, just ask him to wait.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. This young lady refuses to wait for anything.
What?
Father!
Caitlin!
Miss Caitlin's boarding school was flooded. Everyone was sent home.
As if it could smell any mustier.
My word, how is it possible that you have grown up so fast?
You'll be staying. Wherever will we put you?
Holmes, I'll give her my room, of course.
What do you have to say, Kate?
You're on a new case. A respectable lady who's being blackmailed? Or is it a love story between a prince and a suffragist?
However did you guess?
You will tell me, won't you, Father?
We'll see. If you behave.
All right, then. Have fun. I'll go and unpack. Will you help me, Mrs. Hudson?
Holmes, about Caitlin.
Yes?
She has grown up, hasn't she? Don't you think it's time to tell her?
To tell her what, Watson?
Well, about her father.
Never. Absolutely never. Do you hear me?
Holmes, you were responsible for the death of her father. You owe her the truth. She is old enough now.
I would lose her. Can't you see that? She must never know, Watson. Is that clear?
Holmes.
It won't and can't happen.
Let's get inside. Let's get inside.
Come in, please. Good day, gentlemen. Welcome to my home. How may I help you?
Good day to you, Lord Marsh. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. I hope we're not disturbing you. You are with your physician?
Yes, this is Dr. Reuben Fisher. But no, please, I'm intrigued by your visit, Mr. Holmes.
I'm glad to hear it. The last thing I'd wish is to upset the patient. Lord Marsh, can I just say that I admire all of your efforts in assisting the poor of London?
Yes. It is a war that we must fight, on our streets and now too from my home. You must surely have noticed those bags full of items, clothing and books for the unfortunate.
That is inspirational. At my own humble level, I too try my best to support those in need. I thought perhaps that I could be of some assistance?
I don't see why not. I already have the valuable assistance of Dr. Fisher, who happens to be my personal physician.
It's curious. Your face seems familiar to me, Doctor. Oddly, I'm associating it with Whitechapel?
Well done. You are right. I do occasionally frequent a few hostelries over there, would you believe it? Not that I am a drinker. But there, dressed as a working man, I can approach the other fellows to see if they might be interested in a special job.
A special job? May I ask what you're referring to?
Certainly. Since Lord Marsh began his special education program in 1889, he foresaw that such people would need an occupation of some kind. And so, with or without education, we propose these opportunities to work with Lord Marsh. It offers the less fortunate a chance to help make London a better place.
That's remarkable.
Yes, indeed. In order to truly see, one requires vision, yes, but also insight. And Lord Marsh has believed this since he was a child.
Oh, Dr. Fisher makes it all sound so romantic. Let's close this topic.
Forgive me, Lord Marsh. You're looking very pale. Might I offer Dr. Watson's assistance?
That is kind of you, but I feel confident that I can provide Lord Marsh with the care that he requires.
How long have you been like this, my lord?
I'm fine, Dr. Watson. Don't fuss. It's only influenza. I'll be better in a few days. I can feel it already.
In that case, why are you taking such powerful painkillers?
Excuse me, what do you mean?
Mr. Holmes is referring to the pills on your table.
I'm sorry, but that's a medical confidentiality. Lord Marsh believes that he can help all these poor people.
Despite my title, yes. I have to share my home with these bags full of food for the poor.
Lord Marsh even helps hospitals. A provision dealing with the paupers of Whitechapel.
Lord Marsh, hunting with his friends.
Ah, my dear comrades, Lord Collins and Lord Harrington. If it wasn't for this godforsaken English malady, I'd be with those rapscallions right now.
All in due time, my lord.
Lord Marsh, hunting with his friend. Last year, 3 orphans were put through medical college. Thanks to Lord Marsh and the special education program, a great many poor people will have a second chance in life. Last year, 3 orphans were put through medical college. I've never heard of this man. I've never heard of this man. John Strobridge. I've seen this name before. It was on a missing persons poster. I can't quite work it out. Do you have any idea as to the number of people who might owe you their lives?
Oh, don't embarrass me, Mr. Holmes. But indeed, these people have become like a family to me.
That would be a fairly large family, I imagine.
Yes, the list would be longer than any of your short stories. As for how large, well, Fisher is the one who keeps record.
Might we take a glance at the list?
I regret that is impossible. It is confidential. I stand firm upon that point, Mr. Holmes.
I quite understand. We'll most certainly send a donation towards your educational program. I shall take my leave then. I thank you both and I wish you all the very best, gentlemen.
Likewise, Mr. Holmes.
I've never seen so many provisions for the poor, and certainly not in a lord's house. It appears that Lord Marsh spent a great deal of his money on aiding the poor. Aid for the paupers of Lambeth Workhouse. Humanitarian aid for an orphanage. It's extremely honourable to devote one's whole life to assisting the poor. It's closed.
Mr. Holmes, do you have any news about my father?
Tom, not so fast. I wanted to ask you if you remember your father mentioning anything about a special education program.
An education program? No, he only talked about a special job.
What's this box, Tom?
Oh yeah, I just found it, Mr. Holmes. It was ever so well hidden. I've no idea why.
Well done, my boy. It could prove very helpful. Wolfjack. Looks like a military badge. A ramrod to clean a rifle. This oil can also be used on weapons. Tom, does your father own a rifle?
A rifle? No. If he had, he would have shown it me.
I'm sure that he wouldn't have shown it you. I need to find this rifle. This scrap of cloth was used to oil a firearm. Tom, does your father have any other property?
No. Well, at least I don't think so.
I have to take Toby. He'll take a sniff of the oil, and we'll find that rifle. Come on, Toby. It's time for you to earn your keep. Watson?
I prefer to visit Lord Marsh. I'm worried about the condition of his health.
Kate wouldn't like it if I entered her room without her knowledge.
I prefer to visit Lord Marsh. I'm worried about the condition of his health.
Search, Toby, search.
It's only a garden shed. Let's go on. What's in there? Nothing that could interest me. People use this cellar for storage. Pile of rubbish. It's not here. Old things. Ordinary storage. Just rubbish. Tom's photograph. Let's try to get inside. There's no space for this lockpick. There's no space for this lockpick. A map of Epping Forest.
This case must have been full of cartridges. There was something on the stand. There was a rifle here. George Hurst took it with him. Let's compare this list with the evidence that we found earlier. This is the list of selected participants for October's special education program. According to this poster, John Strobridge is missing. Let's compare them with people from Hearst documents. I don't think so. I should pay more attention to details. This man appears in both documents. All the people in Marsh's document are marked and dated in George Hurst's files. News clippings on Lords in the education program. Why are they here? That's not the one I need. 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 Here it is.
Holmes, what are you doing here? What are you planning?
A mission of my own. You must play the role of the conscientious doctor while I sneak inside Marsh's house. That's the only way of helping little Tom.
The window is firmly shut. The window is firmly shut. There's no space for this lockpick.
How can I help you?
I came to visit Lord Marsh.
What for?
I would very much like to see Lord Marsh, if you please.
Oh, you're so clumsy. Can you please not—
I have to visit Lord Marsh and offer him my services.
Fisher, please allow Dr. Watson to enter.
Good job, Watson. I can hide here. I can hide here. Lord Marsh is a keen hunter. Lord Marsh is a keen hunter. Lord Marsh is a keen... Let's see how hard to crack this safe is.
Doctor, it appears that you were impatient to pay me another visit.
Indeed. Will you allow me to examine you? A second opinion, so that the great Lord Marsh does not become the late Lord Marsh.
Well, since you put it that way, very well.
Shall I retire to your office, Lord Marsh?
No, please, Doctor. I insist that you stay. I shall need your assistance.
Will you break anything else?
I'll try my best.
Mr. Holmes? What are you doing here? Will you break anything else?
I'll try my best.
November 7th. This means that the meeting is planned for today.
I'd suggest that your current weakness is perhaps more than a simple case of influenza, Lord Marsh.
Where might your companion be, Dr. Watson?
Oh, he's busy poking his nose into other people's business, I'm sure.
My lord, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I must remind you about your meeting.
Is it already time? My apologies, Dr. Watson, but we are expected elsewhere. Might we offer you a lift?
You are going out? I'm not sure that's wise in your condition.
I value your opinion, but misery never rests, and I am needed.
Well, do please take good care of yourself, Lord Marsh. I'll send you my diagnosis, Dr. Fisher.
Thank you, Dr. Watson. Farewell.
Holmes, come here! This is serious. Holmes, come here! This is serious.
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. A map of London and its surroundings. Could be useful.
Holmes, come here! This is serious.
Watson, what are you doing at my table?
I just need to check one thing about Lord Marsh. My intuition tells me that Lord Marsh is hiding something about his disease. His cough, in addition to his fever and his usage of strong painkillers, leads me to believe that he is seriously ill. Let's study it more closely. Sputum with tiny drops of blood. I could take a sample and examine it under the microscope. Let us apply chemicals to color the sample. I need a pipette. This chemical should be applied third. This chemical should be applied second. Now, let's examine the colored sample under the microscope. A mycobacterium. It appears that Lord Marsh is seriously ill. Holmes, this is no longer a laughing matter. It is just as I feared. Lord Marsh is suffering from tuberculosis.
You don't say.
Yes, I do say. And Holmes, he will die if he is not transferred to a sanatorium as soon as possible.
And yet both Lord Marsh and Dr. Fisher are doing their best to hide this fact. How interesting.
But why?
Why indeed, Watson?
Oh, dear God. You don't think that Lord Marsh contracted tuberculosis while aiding the poor? How terrible. I have a commitment that I can't possibly cancel. Holmes, during my absence, please be extremely careful. This disease is highly contagious. And remember that we have women at home.
Thank you, Miss Alice. Until later.
I'll see you soon, Caitlin.
Where have you been?
Our neighbour lent me a book. She is so kind. I think she likes you.
I doubt that.
How is your investigation going?
It's going. Dracula?
Yes, it's forbidden reading at my boarding school. Did you know?
Well, well.
This is so romantic.
Here it is. Cranston's Oak is in Epping Forest. That's the place indicated on George Hurst's map. Let's try to find the place from the hand-drawn map. Here it is. Drat. I'll need to hurry if I want to find out what's going on at the forest.
Father, that boy Wiggins, does he come here very often?
He helps occasionally in some of my cases. Why do you ask?
I'd like to talk to him.
Talk to him?
Father, back at school there are only girls to talk to, and they are so boring. I'm sure Wiggins has lots of exciting stories to tell about his life in London. It would be so romantic.
Romantic? Whatever that might be.
Sometimes I wonder what world you live in, Father.
Oh, Kate.
I'll leave you alone now.